Hello and welcome to Wrestle Talk with Rabbit Beaver. And joining me today is one of the hardest working men in professional wrestling. You might know him from such places as Net Pro Studios LLC, NWA JCP, Pile Driver Pro, Innovate Championship Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Symphony, and so many more. It's Mr. Daniel Jones. Danny, thank you for coming on and being with us today. How are you doing today?
I've never heard it all listed in one swath like that. Yeah, it really sounds like I'm busy, doesn't it?
You're busy all the time. And you're constantly moving. You're constantly working. You got all sorts of stuff going on. And like we can see in the background, it looks like you've got some training going on tonight as well behind you.
I'll move my big head out of the way. And what I got Rabbit Rogue in the ring back there running training class right now. We've already started off a heck of a week here and training at NetPro and everything. And we started off with a normal training session on Sunday. We do Sundays 1 to 5. And then on yesterday, it was myself and JC Adams. JC Adams is a new addition to our coaching team. He's local, well-known up this direction that wrestles for Innovate Wrestling, is going to wrestle for Innovate Wrestling coming up here in 2 weeks and everything. But one of the local well-knowns up this direction, and he helps us out here on Mondays. And Tuesdays has been a constant with Rabbit coming in and teaching our guys some agility and some different things like that. And every second Wednesday, about every 2, maybe 3 weeks now, we have Ricky Morton. And tomorrow we actually have Ricky and Carrie Morton in the house. So,
awesome.
And then Crazy Steve gave me a heads up that he might be coming in and filling in on Thursday, excuse me, of this week. So still waiting to hear back from him on that. And he's got a busy schedule as well, keeping booked, and he stays going back and forth from shows from here all the way to Canada. So, but yeah, I mean, busy, man. It's just the best. That's the adjective that describes everything right now, is just busy.
Well, so. And that's a good thing though, because you're in high demand, and when you're in high demand, that means that people respect you inside the business. They know who you are, they know what you bring to the table, and they want you to be a part of their life in some way. And Absolutely. That's a great thing to have, Dan. I mean, that really is.
Yeah, we've turned a lot of heads, and we've got hauling the ring around and doing what we do down to a science now. Me and Rabbit back here, we toured with Smashing Pumpkins for a week with the NWA JCP crew. So we did that, and it was up, down, sideways, and everywhere in between, and did 14, 15-hour drives with the ring trailer from Florida all the way to North Carolina. And, it's just that the experience alone, and just getting out there and doing it and proving that you can do it flawlessly. That's what gets you the business. So, you said Pro Wrestling Symphony. Excuse me. We've been a staple for Pro Wrestling Symphony since their first show in Nashville. I'm good friends with Jeremiah Plunkett, who's on their booking team as well as their backstage team and everything. And he pretty much put in a good word for us, along with another good friend of ours, Josh, up that way. And he got us that gig. And what was really cool about it, the promoter doesn't mind bragging on you when you do a good job. It's like a couple of the wrestlers come in and they're like, man, they got that up quick. And they're like, yeah, they know what they're doing. And you overhear the promoter just kind of nodding off to the side, like, yeah, those guys know what they're doing. They're like, yep, we got the thumbs up on that one. So, so we're doing regular stuff with them. We've provided the ring for them for every show, and it's the first Sunday of every month right now is the schedule for them. They're the first Sunday of every month in Nashville at the Brooklyn Bowl. And that's a heck of a venue too. You saw the picture when you put it up beautiful. Just then. They spent some money. They got the whole signature package with their turnbuckle pads and the aprons and everything. And they've added on and subtracted some stuff. And but that's the package right there that you see. We provide the ring alone, and they did all of the custom signature stuff with their turnbuckle pads and aprons and everything else. So, but first Sunday of every month in Nashville at the Brooklyn Bowl. It's right next to the Nashville Sound Stadium, the AAA stadium that's right there in downtown. So, there's a great venue. Highly recommend the show. Shane Mercer's been on the show twice, and he's. If you haven't seen Shane Mercer in person, he's an intimidating guy.
To say the least.
To say the least. So he's something to behold in the ring. So I've gotten to see Shane Mercer twice live now as a result of doing these shows, and just getting the opportunity to do that is pretty cool. So and working with that Nashville group is really, really cool. Rory and I'm probably going to butcher their names if I mention them, but all the promoters up there, they took care of us and we've taken care of them, and we're doing good business. It's a great thing. So good relationship to have.
Absolutely. It's a perfect relationship for you guys, especially as long as they want to have the business, you're going to provide it for them. And I'd say that you would do that for anybody, including people like Piledriver Pro, if they're interested in you. I know that you've worked with them in the past and that you've had
We've worked with them in the past. We've worked with them in the past, and we're going to work with them in the future now. We just got signed on 2-3 days ago to do ring crew for them. We are going to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, on Friday to do Night at the Greens. There you see the graphic for that there. We're doing that. We're going to be there, and we're going to stay overnight, and we're going to do the next night. We're going to do bases loaded there. We're going to be at the Knoxville Stadium, the AAA ball team, the Smokies. Yeah. So we helped them out. We helped Piledriver Pro out hauling the ring and stuff previously when they were in Kodak. And I tell you, they had wrestling night, and it was so much fun. Okay. I mean, it was so much fun. They had all kinds of, instead of guys coming up and batting to their normal music and stuff like that, they were actually coming up and batting to wrestling music, wrestling themes. So, it's like people, they'd play Kane's music, or they played Undertaker's music, or, they'd play Batista's music and stuff for different guys that were coming up to the plate and everything. But there was a lot of wrestling related activities. It was like arm wrestling with a wrestler and different things like that, running bases with a wrestler. So it wasn't just the wrestling, like the wrestling was involved in the whole night. So it was an awesome night. It was just a great night, fun night. And I can't wait, because like as soon as the game's over, that's when the matches start. So and we're gonna that relationship with Piledriver Pro and the Smokies, I believe is gonna last a while. And I'm excited for him.
It looks like you got a heck of a card scheduled for them too. I mean, it looks like whoever's booking for them, whether it's Accident or whoever's booking for them now, they have really scheduled a great thing. George South is supposed to be there. Toby Farley's going to be there. 80 Optimal's scheduled to be there. JAC and Zuka King are supposed to be there. How can you forget about the Stu Crew? Stu Crew are going to be there. The Sultan's supposed to be there. So many people. Gustavo is supposed to be there. Audrey Allen is supposed to be there. Clara is supposed to be there, and so many more guys. I mean, it's crazy. The Dreamweaver, Wayne Moxie, and Chains. I mean, there's so many people scheduled to be on this card that it's basically the price of admission to the game is getting you a great show for free, basically. So
absolutely.
I couldn't agree more with you guys working with these fine young talented men and women for Piledriver Pro Wrestling and working for Pro Wrestling Symphony. And are you putting the ring up for anybody else that we don't know about?
Well, it's been NWA JCP obviously for the last 2 years, so we're still running and gunning with them too. So we still help out. Next show for them's in Decatur on August 1st. It's like, I don't know what happened, but everybody's running a show on August 1st. It's like everybody decided to run a show on August 1st. And even Innovate is running a show in my building on August 1st. So it's crazy. August 1st is like the booked date for everybody. If you're not on a show August 1st, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
But yeah, there you see it. Hostile Territory. That's the next NWA JCP date. I'll be there calling all the action, running sound and everything for NWA JCP, and Innovate Tony Gibbons and them, they're gonna be running in my building. So it's gonna be the Fire on the Mountain event, the
Yes,
yearly
sir.
Fire on the Mountain event that
I
they
believe
got.
I've got a
So
small graphic for that somewhere. Let me look and see if I can
mhm.
find it, because I believe that
I
was up
think
here.
they announced like a 14-man tag match, like total elimination tag match of some kind for that. I don't know exactly how that works, but I don't think I've ever seen a 14-man tag match. But I'm interested to see how that works. And what's really cool about all the Innovate stuff too is all of that stuff's going to Title Match Network now too. So and you can hear me calling it as well as Corky McCorkle and Mr. TV, Tim, he's calling the action with me here at Innovate now too. So it kind of switches back and forth. It's like I have to call in for backup, when I go to NWA JCP, and Corky kind of slides right into that position for me now, and then takes over on commentary for me. So can't say enough about him. Can't say enough about Tim too, joining me on commentary too. I've had a lot of fun with those guys. Calling all the action at Innovate. So,
Well,
but
that's a very interesting point that you brought up. You got into commentary. Speak about how you got into commentary. What was the door that opened for you, and how did you just walk into it?
Well, the first time I really started doing commentary on the regular was for Innovate and Tony Gibbons. It was back when they were NWA Smoky Mountain. They turned into Innovate Wrestling while I was doing commentary there. So, wrestling business changes over time. Guys come, they go. They decide they don't want to be in wrestling anymore. They decide they don't want to be in certain places anymore. That being what it is, I kind of was already a ring announcer at Innovate Wrestling, and Tony just came to me one night and he goes, "Well, my lead announcer quit, so I guess you're lead announcer now." Your lead commentary. So from that point on, I was lead commentary. And as time went on, I let Tony know, hey, I can do more. I can do sound. I can do this. I can do that. And that's what morphed into this whole relationship between NetPro and Innovate and everything. So I credit Tony with relighting the fire that kind of dimmed out in me in professional wrestling. So like we moved here to East Tennessee about 9 years ago, and when we moved, it was it was kind of a lull in the wrestling business for me. And I'll admit, like many others, I got disillusioned with wrestling. I did. It's like you always see it and you always want to be a part of it, and then you're a part of it, and then you're like, is this really what it is? And then I realized it was the region that I was in, that you really couldn't get ahead in the region that I was in. It's like there wasn't really a place where all the good workers in the area combined and made one good show in the Memphis region. It really wasn't. It was infighting, and I'm not saying that's the way it is now, but I'm saying that's the way it was when I left 9-10 years ago.
Well,
So,
Danny, even if it's not that way now in Memphis, it's like that somewhere else. There's the wrestling business, it just like I do, is it might be that way in Missouri, or it might be that way in Chattanooga, or it might be that way in Alabama. There's places where you go sometimes and you feel it, like you're not going to be able to move up, you're not going to be able to do anything, you're not going to be able to go anywhere, and you're kind of stuck with that one show or two shows or three shows that you're going to, and that's all you're going to be, and that's all it's going to be, unless you decide to do something about it.
And my advice to those that are in that situation: get yourself out of that situation. Okay, you're not going to grow in the wrestling business with somebody's thumb on you. You're not going to grow in the wrestling business with somebody telling you, "Hey, don't go work for that guy," or "Don't go work for that guy." Because like, here's the thing: I've had plenty of people tell me not to work for Imperial Wrestling. I've had plenty of people tell me not to work for Innovate Wrestling. I've had plenty of people tell me not to deal with this guy or not to deal with that guy, and I'm like, okay, why? Because I started with Tony, and I've had I've had a few people tell me not to work for Tony. I'm like, why? Tony's paying me. Tony respects me. Tony's never done me wrong. Why do I not need to work for Tony Gibbons? And it turns into, well, I had a personal issue with that guy. Well, you've got a personal issue with that guy, not me. Okay.
And
Don't bring me
that's
into
the
your
key
personal
is
business. So,
there's a lot of people who don't want to resolve their personal issues with other people. And you know this just like I do. They don't want to resolve their personal issues with somebody because it hurts their pride. They have to cut their pride and they have to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong about a situation, or we need to work this out to where we both can be profitable, or we both can be exposed to the business the right way, and we need to work this out the right way. And there's not a lot of people that are willing to do it. Matter of fact, a lot of times people will, in my personal experiences, Dan, they'll go behind you and say anything that they can and try to say anything about you and do anything about you to smear your reputation and your name until you go to a different area and you work that area and people get an opinion of you based on where you're at. So, you know, my advice is to get out of those situations.
I'll say this too. Like, I've heard it time and time again lately, and it's from guys that, you know, I have an admiration for in the business, and not just older guys, but younger guys too. And they're tired of it. They're tired of it. They're just like, why do we all have to fight? Why can't we all get together and just make money? Why do we all have to fight? You know, and here's the thing too, is like, there's been plenty of heat squashed in this building right behind me.
Oh yeah.
Just because this place exists, relationships have been reformed and have come back together. People have come back together that you would have thought would have never come back together again. Okay. So, I mean, like, I'll speak on that a little bit too, is like, not just in the wrestling business, but just families and stuff like that. We were talking earlier about Bridge to Shore and recovery resources.
Yeah.
And Carter County. Yeah, we can pull that up. And I apologize for my coughing. I've had a throat thing going on, and I don't know what it is. It's not allergies, but anyway, but yeah, we've done a lot of work with Bridge to Shore. We've done a lot of work with recovery resources and Carter County drug prevention. We unfortunately got rained out of our softball game that was supposed to happen last weekend with Carter County drug prevention and everything. I was so looking forward to that. We were playing in the AAA field in Elizabethton, and we no sooner got there than the bottom dropped out and it just started pouring. So, but Bridge to Shore is it's women based. It's entirely women based recovery help. Whether you're in an abusive situation, whether you are needing addiction recovery help, whether you're needing just any kind of help whatsoever, you can get it from Bridge to Shore. And if you're female, they'll put you in protective housing and take care of you. And I can't say enough about Tia and that group over there. They're actively opening more and more houses just monthly, and it's so awesome to see. It is so awesome to see. And we have them here regularly in our crowd. And one of the things that Tia and Tabby told us was that the families and everything, they get to come together, even if one's in a recovery house. Okay. The families get to come together and they get to come and see a show and they get to come and watch wrestling together. Okay. And they bring whoever's in the recovery houses up here and they get to spend the evening with their kids. And so in that respect, we're bringing families back together, and it's awesome. It's just awesome to be a part of a community like that. It's amazing to see, and just, I kind of have to smirk and just, I lose myself off into the distance thinking, like, who'd have thought creating a wrestling school
would benefit the community and do so much, have such an impact. Yeah.
Would have this impact, and we paid for funerals for fans for long. We had Big Frank's, I think it was Big Frank was the guy's name. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. We paid for his funeral. He's a long time fan of Innovate Wrestling and Tony Gibbons. Long time fan, like all the way back to like the CWA days, I think it was, that they were originally named. So we paid for his funeral. We paid for one of my students' aunt's funeral, who they would get together and come to see Innovate Wrestling as a family, and that was their family time. And Tony knew them, so we raised money to pay for that funeral. We raised money for Helene flood victims. We had Oh, it was counseling services. I don't want to say the name because I'm probably going to butcher the name again. But we had counseling services for youth. They came in here and they ran a benefit show. We raised $1,000 for them, and they want to do it again. You know, and that's the thing is like we stay working in our community. We stay on the ball in the community and everything. We're doing parades. You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, I don't know why nobody thought to do a parade, honestly, because when I did when I did the Christmas parade, I thought, well, maybe I don't do the parade. Maybe I do the parade. We'll see how the Christmas parade goes. And we made a float for the Christmas parade. We did 4th of July parade before we did the Christmas parade. So the 4th of July parade, just people are hot. It's hot outside. You're not going to get a whole lot of people. And the parade route for the 4th of July parade, for some reason, they alter the parade route. It's not the same parade route as Christmas parade does. So 4th of July, I was like, okay, we're going to do the parade. We do the parade. We've got the wrestlers and we're hauling in the ring trailer. We made the ring trailer look like an actual ring. We had garland that was strung up like ropes up against the ring trailer. We had Travis Lee, who was the Innovate champion at the time. He was going down, central over here, and Jeff Baker was right behind him, hitting him with a chair occasionally, and Travis was just shrugging it off like he normally does. It's like somebody flicking a toothpick at him. And that was our first 4th of July parade. Well, we go and I was like, okay, well, that was cool. Let's do the Christmas parade and see what happens. The Christmas parade. Holy crap, there's so many people at the Christmas parade. Okay. we do a freaking horseshoe around downtown Kingsport, and it's like a 3 or 4 mile long parade route. Nothing but people lining both sides of the street. Okay. And like, if you're a business and you're in Kingsport, if you're a business and you're in Newport, if you're a business and you're in Knoxville, get with the parades. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
really.
If you're not getting exposure and people don't know you're around, you're not going to
It's your
get
own
business.
fault.
We got our brand in front of at least 5,000 to 6,000 people on the Fun Fest parade that just happened. Okay. Just the Fun Fest parade. Okay. That's the pictures from the Fun Fest parade. And there was a ton of people lined up in the Fun Fest parade. So, but it took the same route as the Christmas parade. So I knew there would be a lot of people on that one. So, but every one of those parades, there's at least anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 people that are going to see your brand, and it's just like, who has wrestlers at a Christmas parade? This guy does.
Exactly. But you've seen something that a lot of people are they've mistaken with their businesses because they're not getting the exposure that they deserve because they're not willing to put in the work that needs to be done. And
Right.
Dan, that's really where you excel in this business. Is you're not afraid to get your hands dirty for anybody. You're not afraid to help anybody out if they ask you. You're not afraid to rent something to them, set it up for them, tear it down, haul it to them. You're not afraid to do the dirty work in professional wrestling. And I think that that's what separates you and pushes you aside as a business, not only as a business, but as a teacher, as a guide through the professional wrestling world, and as a mentor to some of these young kids, is because they're seeing firsthand what it takes to be in this business week in and week out, day in and day out. And you're pushing them to the limit to see where their breaking point is. And it's a good thing for them because once you know where their breaking point is, you know how to fix the problems that persist with them. And that's something that's not being taught in a lot of places, and it's not being shown in a lot of places. They just expect you to pick up, like some of these kids, they may pick up a WWE contract tomorrow. And I believe your kids would be ready for it tomorrow. There's a lot of places where some people may pick that schedule up. They're not ready for it.
I appreciate that compliment. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Here's my take on how I've been successful, honestly. Okay. I was a mobile DJ in Memphis. We were in Memphis before we moved here 9-10 years ago. So I was a mobile DJ in Memphis for 17 years, I think. And with all of that, I learned lighting, I learned sound, I learned, what you can and can't do with production, learned, how to program lighting and everything. And, that's how everything's come together in the building behind me, and I've done it time and time again for different people. I've done it time and time again, and I'll continue to do it time and time again because I want the shows to be better. I want everything looking better. I want that look of this looks professional, and I want that experience where the fans where they're like, "Holy crap! Yeah, I went to the show that was down the street over here that was in the gymnasium." But have you been to the building over here at NetPro and seen that what they can do and the lighting and all this other stuff and everything? And it's like I kind of set the bar that way. So and if that's the way that I have to improve everything around me, then so be it. It's like there's plenty of people who don't like me in the area, and the only reason that they have for not liking me is that I'm successful. That's literally it. That's the only reason, and that here's the thing too. We touched on that a little bit earlier. I don't pay attention to everyone else. I pay attention to what I'm doing. I because I've gotten drug into the drama in the past. I've gotten drug into, don't go work here, go work there, don't go do this, can do that. I've gotten drug into that. And my attitude now is I'm 47 years old. I'm an adult. I think I got it figured out. Thanks. I'm like, that's just the thing, it's like, I don't drag me into, something else and everything. So that's been my whole attitude. And that's what's kept me going, and this people are like, oh, we'll go and we'll do this weekend. And then we'll go and do this weekend. And we'll go and do this weekend. And I'm like, okay, you need a ring, you need wrestlers, you need this, you need that. What do you need? If you need anything, just call me. I got you. Okay. But they don't understand this is like, I do this 24/7. This behind me is 24/7. Even when I'm at work and I'm working 8 to 5, my normal job for, the company that I work for during the day and everything, my phone stays right beside me because in the job that I have, I can answer my personal phone and I can answer my business phone and still do my work that I'm doing from 8 to 5. So I have that unique opportunity set up with me as well. So the phone never stops ringing.
Right.
So, and if you're not there to answer it, or if you just want to completely ignore it, there ain't too many times that opportunity knocks.
Right.
I'll say that. There's not too many times that opportunity is going to knock. Sometimes opportunity only knocks one time. And if you're not there to answer the phone, sorry, you missed your opportunity. So
well, that's just it. That's just it. It's the phone. The phone will only ring one time most of the time for some of these people. Mm-hmm. And if you put it off or you push it away, you're never going to get that call again. Or if you do get that call again, it's going to be by chance that you're getting that call again. And just like you said, you're very successful in this business, but it's very lonely at the top when you're successful in this business. You have to keep yourself motivated. You have to keep yourself dedicated. You have to keep yourself tight and in a tight group of people that you trust and a tight group of people that you can put your faith in that can help you when anything goes wrong. And I know that it speaks very much to a man, the type of woman he has at her side. And you've been married very long time to somebody that has supported you every step of the way. And it's made a very big difference in your life. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that you're successful as well.
Well, July 10th, we were married 21 years. So, Erica found out she's a really good graphic designer out of this job. So she makes a lot of our graphics and stuff like that and everything. She's been our sole go-to graphic person and everything. So if I tell her, hey, I need you to make something, she can usually whip something up in about an hour or so and then just say, hey, does this look right? And I'm like, okay. So yeah, that looks fine, so, but yeah, she's dove pretty much head first into this with me, and when I can't be here, she's here to open the doors. So it's, I can't say enough about my wife. She's been 100% supportive, and I'm waving at my guys as they go out the door over here to the side. They're like, we must have reached 8:30 because usually 8:30 was like 6 to 8:30. Usually guys are like, I'm tired, I need to go home. So I'm kind of, if you see me nodding this way and going, hey, yeah, nice seeing you, I'm saying bye to somebody. So, but yeah, Erica, she dove head first into this with me. She's been with me since the start. I started at 29, and I should have started at 19. And I make no bones and no secrets about that. I should have started 10 years earlier, and I was with a person that had no faith in anything I did and refused to let me do what I wanted to do. And that relationship didn't last very long.
Right.
And I'll just leave it at that. So, from that relationship, and me and Erica, I've actually known Erica since I was 19. She was in the co-ed dorms that my buddies were staying in University of Alabama in Huntsville. And needless to say, I made a lot of trips to visit my buddies after I saw her. So
that normally happens.
Yeah, and two, I don't know if you can pull it up, but we're actually in a contest right now. I don't know how quick you can pull something up, but we're actually in a contest right now. It's called America's Favorite Couple. It's put on by Variety Magazine. Jeff Goldblum and his wife Emily are a part of it, and we're actually like fifth in our group right now. There's a little QR code we've been sharing online and everything to get us some free votes and stuff like that. But if you donate money to the cause that is in the contest too, it gets to the Los Angeles Food Bank and Oceana. So it splits between two causes. So
I'm looking for that post because I did see it the other day.
But yeah, we're fifth in our group right now, and they're fixing to make the cut to the final 10. I don't know what they'll cut after that, but it's been really interesting. I gotta say, because we'll get like interview videos from Goldblum and his wife and everything, and they're talking about their relationship and everything, and just trying to get people on through the contest and everything. So it's pretty cool. But it's been a long, strange trip to say the least in the wrestling business since I was 29. And I was sitting on the couch, and I basically I kept getting so mad looking at the TV, seeing people screw stuff up, production wise and everything. Everything was just so screwed up, and I was just like, I know I can do better than that guy on TV. And and I did. I said, screw it. I'm gonna do this. And Erica was supportive. She said, you're never gonna be happy if you don't find out if you can do this or not. So, and lo and behold, here we are 17 years later, and we've got our own building, we've got our own everything, and it's there you go. Currently fifth. Yeah. So yeah, and if you
2 days left to vote.
That's going to be the cut to 10. They're going to do the top 10. So we're currently fifth, and we dropped to sixth the other day, but we went right back up to fifth in a little bit and everything. And occasionally they'll double the votes if you donate money. So the donations are they're not too expensive, I don't think, but they're up there. They can get as high as 250, and I think you get us 200 votes or something like that. So, but yeah, that's been interesting too, to be a part of that. And the winner gets $20,000 and gets an advertisement. They call it an advertory thing in Variety Magazine. So we may, who knows, we may win it all, and we may be featured in Variety Magazine. You never know.
I think they're donating to a food bank as well to fight hunger and give hope as part of it as well. And the Oceana Project, they're going to be doing a little bit of money to both of those as well. So the more money you raise actually goes to a good cause for both of those on both those terms as well. So guys, I would encourage you, for americasfavoritecouple.org, go ahead and get out there and vote for Mr. Danny Jones and Miss Erica.
That's right. I think it's funny because like I being in the wrestling business, we all get to see the same stuff on Facebook pretty much. So I think Maria James, Haley J's mom, I think her and her husband are in the contest too.
They are.
And, so it's just kind of like, I'll vote for you if you vote for me. Hey, So it's kind of going back and forth with stuff like that. So, but no, I can't say enough about Erica. She's been completely supportive of everything we've done at Net Pros, and she's right there alongside me. She's standing beside me on everything. So, it's been a crazy journey, from starting in a little rusty old warehouse in West Memphis, Arkansas, and getting to here. So yeah.
Well, you said something a minute ago that's really important. You said that you couldn't stand where people were doing production at and how they were doing production, how they were doing lighting, how they were doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody doesn't know where to start, what advice would you give to them to help them better their business and be successful?
I want to see, because not everybody wants the same thing. I'll say that too. I go and I watch indie wrestling and everything, and I see different shows, and it's all a matter of what you put into it, how you put into it, and what you want out of it. And there's so many factors in it. And if I was to walk up to a person and just say, if I was walk up to a person and say, what's your end game with this? Do you want to get bigger than this? Because if you want to get bigger than this, you got to change stuff, and that's kind of the foot in the door for me. So, but a lot of people, they're happy where they're at. The budget is what the budget is, and they can't change anything, or whether it be they don't have the money to, they don't have the support to, they don't want to. So there's some people that are just it's ingrained in their nature that they know what they're doing and they don't want any help. So to them, I say, well, okay.
Well,
if you don't think you need,
right.
If you don't think you need help, then you don't need help.
Well, you run into a lot of owners and promoters that, like you said, they're set in their ways and they don't think that they need the help or that they want the help. But they all want to gripe and complain because the show down the street is doing a little bit better than them because they're willing to try things. That's one thing about any industry. It doesn't matter what you get into. You've got to be willing to innovate. You've got to be willing to try something and put it all on the line to see if it will be a success and see if you have anything. See if you have something special. And that's something that really comes from trial and error. And some of these promoters, like you said, they're just stuck in their ways. They don't want to change. They don't want anybody to come along and help them or try to innovate with them because they've done it 30 years this way or 40 years this way. And then you've got the young hotshot who's got 200 to 300 people versus 6 or 7 people every weekend. And he's wondering what he's doing wrong. Well, you got to innovate. You got to move in a direction. So it's like you said,
you got to do stuff that other people are not doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've done with the parades and with, I don't think I've told anybody no about having a show in 2.5 years of doing this. Okay. We did a show at a nursing home. Okay. We did a show at a nursing home. And what was really funny was it happened to be the same day that Crazy Steve was coming in to teach. And I sat down with Steve and I said, we're doing a show at a nursing home. He goes, say what? I said, we're doing a show at a nursing home. He goes, well, I'm wrestling on it. I said, what?
He's ready for it.
And he goes, I want to say I wrestled in a nursing home. I was like, oh. So yeah, I thought that was hysterical. He was like, because after he did it, of course, he called everybody he knew and was like, I wrestled at a nursing home.
Well, they always say that there's no publicity is bad publicity. It doesn't matter where you set that ring up at. You're always going to have an audience, whether it's one person or 50 people or 300 people or 3,000 people or 30,000 people that are inside that crowd. You're always going to have one person who's never seen your product, knows anything about your product, and you can create a fan for life if you can just get them hooked on one person or one event or one moment in time. That's all it takes. And from that moment in time, it doesn't matter whether it's in a nursing home, whether it's at a baseball field, whether you're out in the hot sun at a fairground, it don't matter where you're at. If you're in a coliseum, you're going to get somebody for life that'll follow you, watch you, and take your product seriously from that point in time forward. And shoot, they might even branch out to other promotions, other things, because of the one show that they saw you guys in. So that's a big thing, Mr. Jones. That's a huge thing for you guys.
I have seen it personally happen, where a person comes in and they watch a show, and we get to the end of the night and we're tired and we're leaving, and the person found independent wrestling. They found it. And you almost compare it. And I don't mean, I'm not trying to be sacrilegious or anything like that. You almost compare it to finding God almost.
Yeah. No, that's a really good analogy.
It's like, but it's like I've seen 2 or 3 of them just go, "This is the greatest day of my life. I am coming back here every weekend." And it's like, oh, okay, awesome. You're a fan for life now. Awesome, we won you over. So yeah, and just getting those reactions, I love it. I love getting those reactions. Having those moments with the crowd, having those moments with kids and stuff like that, which we do birthday parties too.
Yeah.
So yeah, just having those moments with everything. I had a moment last October, and it was two of my best friends in the business. It was Steve and Jeremiah Plunkett, and they had a match in here, and I got to call it, and it was for NWA JCP. And you can go and watch it on the YouTube channel now too. Yeah. So it stuff like that happening. It's like my friends that I know can absolutely burn any building to the ground having a match. They're here and they're working in front of me, and I'm getting to call it, and it's in my building, and it's happening for NWA, and it's it's just I so many full circle moments like that for me. So I know we're providing it for plenty of other people too. So, and we're getting people started in the wrestling business too. So
that's right.
It's just simple things like that, just over and over and over and over and over again. So it just I try to stay humble, but at the same time I'm just like, how many people can we reach? How many people's lives can we change? How many people can we, teach? How many people can we train? How many people can we get started in the wrestling business? And how many people 10 years from now, when they're in WWE or when they're in TNA or when they're in NWA or when they're in, AEW, if they're still around, whoever's still around, whatever the major company is, when they're in New Japan or whatever, if they're still around, all of a sudden I got my start at NetPro. I got my start with Dan. And that's going to be another full circle moment for me. Who knows, 20, 30 years from now. So, I've had them since I started in the wrestling business. I've had them. I'll continue to have them over and over again. I've realized this now. So it's just going to be a continuous showering of everything. So, but
well,
yeah,
Dan, I'm just about out of time for tonight. But before I let you go, I know that you have cut training short this Sunday. Is that correct?
It won't be this Sunday. It will be the August 3rd.
August 3rd.
We get August 3rd, and that's the Sunday that we'll have to take that first Sunday off of every month because we'll be in Nashville for Pro Wrestling Symphony. So that's just going to be a given from now on. That first Sunday of every month we're probably going to have to just stay closed for that day. Just go do ring crew for Pro Wrestling Symphony and support them and everything. So
well, I apologize about having the date wrong. So like you said, it's going to be August 3rd, 2025. The ring is being rented, and they're going to be ring crew for Pro Wrestling Symphony at the Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville, Tennessee is where it's going to be. Why don't you guys come on out that day to Pro Wrestling Symphony in Nashville and see Mr. Danny Jones, see the hardest working man in professional wrestling.
August 1st, find a show. There's
shows
good
everywhere.
Good Lord. There's shows everywhere. August 1st. If you're a fan and you don't have a show to go to, just Google.
Well, for sure. And we know that you're renting the ring out as well. And your ring will be in, I believe, 2 places that day. You're going to be doing one August 1st for NWA JCP, and then you said Innovate's going to be coming down and doing it in your building as well.
Ring, NWA JCP doesn't get my ring. They have their own ring, but we still do ring crew for them. So, NetPro does ring crew for them too. My guys will occasionally do stuff for them. So it's, that hostile territory. And then the Fire on the Mountain show here. This is where the NetPro guys will be. Because I tried to get them to ring crew for NWA JCP, and they were like, "We're all booked for Tony," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Well, it's a good problem to have." So,
and we spoke about it earlier, but you're going to be doing two Pile Driver Pro PDP shows. You're going to be doing the 25th and the 26th. You're
that's
going to be doing
coming
the
up this weekend
in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Let me get it on the screen for you. Oak Ridge, Tennessee is going to be the first one that's going to be there. It's going to be a night at the Greens at the Mini Bungalow Golf there for Pile Driver Pro. And then the following night, you're going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Knoxville Smokies Stadium down there for Bases Loaded. So you're going to be a very busy man this weekend.
Yes, we will be. And I can't wait to see George again. We had George at our Wrestling for the Kingdom seminars. Excuse me. We had George at our Wrestling for the Kingdom seminars here at NetPro, along with Les Thatcher, Matt Sigmund, and let's see, Chance Prophet. I know I'm going to miss somebody's name. Devin. I remember Devin. Devin came in. Devin flew in. Jeez. But George texts me daily about praying for me and praying for my family, praying for NetPro and everything. And, I love George to death. It's one of those things where, you meet somebody and you realize you're going to be friends for life.
For life.
So, yeah.
Instant connection.
So, instant connection. So, just a short note on that too. I need to say, rest in peace to my friend Kevin Nickel. That kind of circulated around a week or two ago that Kevin passed away in Arkansas and everything. And for the first 2 years, that's who I bumped in the ring with. For the first 2 years of my wrestling career, it was me and Kevin bumping constantly in the ring together, and him teaching me everything. So NetPro doesn't exist without Kevin. He was a huge part of my training and the way that I train people today. So I'll miss him. I love him. He leaves behind an 8-year-old son that he had full custody of. And it's just heartbreaking what happened to him. And that's all I can really say about the situation that happened where he wound up the way he did. And, I hope nothing but the best for his son. I do. I hope, I hope justice will be done. I'll say that too. That, whatever they find out, that it is justice served. So, just, I hate to bring it down on a note like that.
No, it's okay. But if you hear of anybody doing any shows that are going to support his family and his child in the future, please let us know so we can put the information out there as well. We would love to do that. We'll do.
They did a memorial show this past weekend, but I was already booked for the parade, and I kind of dedicated something to him the only way I knew how, and that was to wrestle a match at Urban Combat Wrestling's 6th anniversary show over in Asheville. So that's another one we send guys over there too. So, and happy anniversary to Mook and Spaceman and Urban Combat. I did an interview for them, and as soon as it hits online, I'm gonna share the mess out of it too. So awesome. I did a little online interview for them too. So, but
final words, Mr. Jones. Anything you'd like to say to anybody watching that wants to break into the business at all?
Follow us at NetPro Studios on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. Send us a message if you're interested in getting started. Even if it's just production wise, if you want to do commentary, if you want to do refereeing, we have one of the best referees, in my opinion, in the business, Shane Chess. He is from OVW. He's taking a little break right now. But he's in with OVW. He was featured on Netflix, The Wrestlers, and he, very good friend of mine, and I love him to death. And he was just in here yesterday, actually training one of our referee students. So, we do every aspect of the business, and if you want to learn it, we can teach you. So,
Absolutely.
and, and for those that have been in the business, come and get polished. If you think you know everything, why aren't you signed?
That's a dangerous place to be. My mentor used to say, if you think you know everything, there's somebody going to teach you a real hard lesson pretty soon.
Yeah.
And that man was Harley Race, and he was
Yes.
right on the money. If you think you know everything, somebody's going to come through and they're going to teach you something.
Every time Ricky Morton's here, I'm listening to him, and I learn something new every time. So you're not gonna learn with a closed mind, thinking you know everything. You're gonna learn with an open mind and taking in everything you can from everybody around you. So, and that's what NetPro is all about. So.
Absolutely. And you can catch him right there on the Facebook page. I'm going to put it right back up on the screen for you guys. You can reach out to him directly at NetPro Studios altogether at gmail.com. It's right here for you guys. He's got pro wrestling tees available for NetPro Studios as well. And you can check his Square site out is there also. And his page is right up here for you at the beautiful Bobby Eaton Arena. Bobby Eaton did so much for our business. He did so much for each of us inside the business. And man, he loved his hot dogs. He loved those chili dogs, those small dogs.
Oh man, Bobby was there when I cut my first promos, and he was at. I started at Nightmare Ken Wayne's over in West Memphis, Arkansas, when it was active, and it's no longer active. I think it died about 7 or 8 years into being, but Bobby Eaton and a host of others. I became best friends with Downtown Bruno there. So, it's just, one of those things where if you hadn't been where you'd have been, you wouldn't have met the people that you've met. So, and Bobby Eaton was one of those guys, man. Bobby Eaton was just, every time I saw him, he had a hug for me. So I love and miss Bobby to death every day. So.
And that's going to be at 100 Emory Lane in Kingsport, Tennessee, guys, the beautiful Bobby Eaton Arena. And you did such a great job renovating that building. We talked about that the last time we were here. You renovated that building from scratch and painted the walls, put lighting up, made sure that you had an entrance ramp. You did everything for that building to make it what it is today. And you are paying dividends. Look behind you. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but we can see it right there. You've got students in the ring learning right now, and that's paying dividends into the business. You've done it, Mr. Jones.
Ring trailer right there, ready to go out. And as soon as we get a call, we're like the fireman version of wrestlers, So like, who needs a show? Ding ding ding.
And once again, if you're wanting a show, you're wanting him to do ring crew for him, you can message him at netprostudios@gmail.com, or you can call him at his school number that's going to be listed right there on his NetPro Studios page.
I'll go ahead and tell you, it's better to send us a message on Facebook if you've got Messenger. You can email us. We check that regularly too. Both of those things go to our phones. So it's, the landline, I get more insurance calls, people trying to sell me insurance than I do business. I get spam calls on that line all day long. It's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I don't know who they're calling at 8, 9 o'clock at night trying to sell insurance, but they do it. So, but yeah, you're better off sending us a message
Jeff
online.
Baker. That's the one that's giving your number out.
Yep, that's probably Jeff Baker. It all makes sense now.
All right, Dan, I think that's going to be enough for tonight. Thank you so much for coming on and being a guest with us. We're going to get you set up for a later date to come back on with us as well.
Absolutely.
And like I said, definitely go out there and check him out. NetPro Studios LLC, 100 Emory Lane in Kingsport, Tennessee. It's a place where you guys want to be. If you're wanting to learn, get inside the business, start as a professional wrestler, as a ring announcer. If you want to start as a referee, you want to learn how to be ring crew, you want to learn how to be camera crew, this is a great man to learn from. He's got everything inside the business that you need. Definitely give him a check out. Definitely shout him out. Danny Jones right there, Mr. Daniel Jones, NetPro Studios LLC, and he'll teach you everything. They'll move you all over the place. Let me tell you, there is no shortage from Tampa all the way up. I mean, he's all over the place all the time. The guy is constantly moving.
I thought we were going to do a music fest in Ohio for a second, and that was going to be crazy. And I got an offer to go to Richmond, Virginia the other day. I quoted them a price, and they didn't flinch. And I was like, really? Okay. So, we're traveling around.
So that's something else is, the pro wrestling business, different states have different commissions, different licenses, different things. This is going to be one of the men that can help you get all your paperwork scheduled, get everything settled in. So if you're interested, if you need to go through and have a refresher course, or you need somebody to help you get your paperwork settled, give Mr. Jones a call, email him, find out a way to get in touch with him. He'll be able to help you. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here tonight with us at Wrestle Talk with the Rabid Beaver. And remember, guys, you heard it right here first. Bye, sir.
Bye now.